All right, so I think we are on. We are live. We are live. And we will be starting in about 5 minutes. So we're going to wait until it builds up a little bit and then we're going to begin.
All right.
Hello, everyone. I am not seeing your names. If you are posting questions or comments, how StreamYard works is that the names of the viewers will not be showing from my end, but we will see them when we get back on the Facebook app. So if you have anything to say, to post, then you may go ahead and do that, and we will address them shortly. So we're going to begin in about 4 minutes. Hello. So again, remember that we're not going to be seeing, I'm not going to be seeing your name from this end, from my end, because of the streaming app, but I will be able to read and take the questions from what from my end. So I hope everyone had a wonderful day today. I am so excited to start this interview, but we are going to wait until the others get on. So we're giving them about 3 more minutes. And of course, if you're watching this by replay, you may type replay in the comment section when you begin watching so that we can know that you either catch it live or you caught the replay. Again, we are going to begin in about a minute. So stay tuned. We are starting in about a minute. And when you get in, please leave a comment so we know that you are here with us. Leave a comment so that we know that you are right here with us. We will be beginning in 1 minute. So just 1 minute to go. Just 1 minute to go, and we will begin. Hi. Yes, I see that. Hi. Again, let me remind you that StreamYard does not show the names of those who are commenting from my end, so I will not be able to see the names, but I will be responding just the same based on the comments that are coming in. All right, so we are about to start. And again, hello, 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 everybody. Welcome to our first broadcast where I will be interviewing our special guest and member of our group, Miss Amanda Rose. Welcome, Amanda.
Hello. Hi,
Hello.
thank you. Yeah, thank you
You're
so much for
welcome.
having me. I'm excited.
You're welcome. You're welcome. We're excited. So, our topic today is from victim to victor. And this is a success story. I am really glad that we do have these stories out there where we are not left to be living in despair when we call them quote unquote bad things happen to us or when traumatic things happen to us. But we have these stories that we can pull for inspiration, for motivation, for hope. And so today we're going to be talking to Amanda, and she is going to, first of all, share a little bit about yourself, Amanda. What do you do?
Right, I'm a adapted PE teacher, which means I teach physical education to children with disabilities. Most of my students have autism, but I do get the occasional traumatic brain injury or cerebral palsy or some other disability.
Mm-hmm.
So I honestly feel like my experience has empowered me as an educator and made me so much more compassionate, not only to children across the board, people across the board, but also
Yes.
to my students, because they're often an overlooked population. And then on the side, I'm also still in the fitness industry, and I help people kind of work on getting their fit life, getting their physical health back with weight loss or muscle gain or whatever. Really goes hand in hand with teaching. It's just a different avenue.
Right. Awesome. Thank you, Amanda. Thank you for sharing that. So we're gonna get into the juicy part and putting a fun spin to it. So we're going to get into that part where Amanda is going to take it away for us, where she's going to share a little bit about her story concerning your journey with what started or what caused you to face PTSD, which we know is post traumatic stress disorder. So, what is your story, Amanda?
So, about actually 8 years ago now, this week, I was sexually assaulted by someone who I trusted more than pretty much anybody. He was somebody I knew since freshman year of high school. So at the time, it
Yeah.
was almost half my life. I'd known his wife since middle school. We, really grown up together. We spent a lot of time together. And one night he assaulted me. And it sucked. It really sucked. But I didn't address it at all in that moment, or at that time. I
Yeah.
repressed everything you could, pretty much every wrong thing you could do in that situation is what I did, and consciously I didn't think about it at all, which you would think would be great, but our subconscious
No.
remembers everything. So I began isolating myself. I became very antisocial. I started drinking heavily. I sought, comfort foods. I pretty much my entire life just opposite of what I was. I was, I gained a lot of weight. I lost confidence. I lost my self-esteem was shot. And then probably almost 2 years after the incident, I had a coworker who made the comment that I should, quote, embrace my chubbiness, end quote. And
Mm-hmm.
it just kind of threw everything to the forefront of my mind about, yes, that happened. And that's why I gained the weight. So it really sucks because basically she didn't know, but you really
Yes.
don't say shit like that. I'm sorry. You don't say things like that to people
Yes.
because in my mind now, she was telling me to embrace the fact that I was violated across the board. And I became even more withdrawn. I mean, I was starting to kind of get back to a normal routine, but it became withdrawn again, began drinking again. Pretty much any strides I had made were gone. I became very hypervigilant, very anxious, very depressed. And I was on a severe downward spiral until another coworker who was amazing. She still is amazing. She's one of my closest friends. Suggested I go see a therapist. Just go to an intake, see how I liked it. And I did. Fortunately, the lady who did my intake was incredible and amazing, and just so supportive and opening and welcoming and open to hearing my pain and everything. And that was a completely new thing. So I started, therapy, and I mean, it did wonders. It pretty much saved my life. So in a lot of ways, I tell my friend that she saved my life, because I have no idea where I would be if I hadn't done that. Yeah, it just kind of gave me the tools to unpack everything and process everything, and actually acknowledge that this terrible thing did happen, and these feelings are okay, because as humans, we're allowed to have feelings. We're allowed to express our feelings. Society may tell us, they frown upon that. They tell us to keep that to ourselves, but that's not how we're supposed to live. I mean, granted, there are appropriate situations that we express ourselves, but just acknowledging and understanding what I was feeling and why, and then having the tools to work through it, just made everything so much more manageable. And I mean, there's been a lot of ups and downs and everything, but I mean, I just starting to get back my mental health did wonders. And as I really started kind of getting control of how I was feeling emotionally, enabled me to start to take back my physical health as well, because they really do go hand in hand. You can't have one without the other. And understanding both is really how we're going to have true healing and true success, and ultimately have whole body health, because your body is not just your physical self, it's also your mental and emotional self.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that, Amanda. And I love your story, particularly because you approached it in a holistic way, which is something that we're really big on in this community, where it's not just about the mental health. It's really about the whole man. If you're going to heal, then you have to take back, as you said, take back your life in a holistic way. And so I applaud you. I commend you. I
Thank you.
acknowledge you for your resilience. We spoke about this before we came on, where
Yeah.
I keep telling you that I applaud you. I applaud you for your resilience, because there's so many people who feel stuck. We can't deny it,
Yeah.
that things, when things like this happen, people feel stuck and they feel like there's just no hope. And it doesn't matter the class, you'd say the race, the gender. Once things like these happen, then it's just a human part of us where we feel stuck. And so to hear
Mm-hmm.
stories like these, then it's really, really, really inspiring. And so the next thing that I wanted to ask you is that, what were your main symptoms? Like, what was your biggest challenge? What kept you up at night? What do you think was your main frustration?
At first, like being when I had to go, into the world,
Yeah,
because we were not social distancing at that point. It
yeah,
was the hypervigilance. It exasperated my anxiety, and
yeah,
those two things just, um, I mean, they just threw you for a loop. You can't concentrate. Every little thing, you're wondering if it's coming at you, if it's gonna hurt you. Like, you can't focus on anything. And trying to, at the time I was working front desk at a gym, trying to engage with someone and help them with their
yeah.
problems, while in the back of my mind I'm wondering what this rustling sound is it somebody who's going to come up and grab me? It's detrimental to everything. It doesn't allow you to be you.
Right.
And then I mean, the anxiety across the board. doesn't let you do anything, doesn't let you enjoy anything, doesn't let you focus on anything, doesn't let you process anything. You just kind of spiral out of control and perseverate on this one thought that could be the most extreme, unlikely scenario that you can imagine, but you are just stuck on it and spiraling out of control. And
Yes.
that just, yeah. And then depression was also a big one for me, where I was just apathetic and lethargic, and I didn't want to engage with anything. I didn't want to do anything. If I did eat, it was terrible food. I wouldn't want to eat at all. I was just going through the motions. I was essentially a zombie in a lot of ways. But the tools that I learned in therapy helped me, understand those and acknowledge them, because you have to acknowledge why something's happening for you to fully understand it and be able to work through it. And you can't just shove it to the side. That doesn't work. I mean, there's only so far, so much you can shove to the side before it starts building in front of you. And then like you said, you're stuck, and then you can't go anywhere.
Yeah.
So you have to process it so you can actually move it to where it belongs.
Yes. Very
Yeah.
important points. Awesome. And I agree with you. You really have to get to know before you can try to work on it. Because if you don't know
Yeah.
what you're up against, then what I realize with a lot of clients is that when they are not aware of what they're dealing with, it brings a lot more fear. And then the anxiety,
Mm-hmm.
because anxiety really is when you are so unsure and uncertain about futuristic events. So it's like you're losing control, and
Mm-hmm.
our bodies just flip. Like we really don't like to feel that we're losing control, and so that will push the anxiety into play. So very important point, you really have to know what you're dealing with to be able to tackle it. And
Right. You
then
have
when
to,
you
you
become
have to sit with
aware,
it. Yeah, you have to
yes,
sit with it to understand it. And it really, like, the tools I learned really help you stay in that present, so you can,
yeah,
fully acknowledge that emotion and sit with it and process it and understand it, and then work through it, and, throw it away. Once you're done with it, throw it away.
oh yes, oh yes, very good. Throw it away. All right.
Yeah.
So what would you think? What would you say? Are the Do you have, let's say, 3 points as to what put you or placed you on the path of recovery? So what were your three biggest go-tos? Like what did you do? What were your skills, your practices, your habits? What did you resort to in order to push you along into, I don't like the term push you along. I
Yeah, right.
prefer pull.
Encourage. Yeah.
So
Then
yes,
you just,
encourage. So what pulled
honestly,
you to healing?
the first thing was deciding, just making that
Yes.
choice to get help, and then following through with it. So yeah, I hadn't really thought about therapy, and
Yeah.
once somebody mentioned it to me and thought it'd be, made the decision to go get that intake. And I mean, I was fortunate that the first therapist I spoke with was somebody that I really clicked with and could really help me. But finding a therapist that you can respect and respects you and has your best interests at heart, as well as somebody you can open up with, because if you can't open up, then what's the point? But you have to find somebody that you can trust, and you genuinely feel has your best interests at heart.
Yeah.
And I mean, therapy was just so great, because it not only helped me understand everything, but really validated how I felt. And it's like, yes, it's okay to feel emotions. I don't know how many times my therapist said to me that I'm human. I can feel emotions. It's okay. And then it's completely confidential. Like, yeah, you have friends you can confide in, but you don't know if it's going to stop there. And 90% of the time it doesn't. So having that legally bound person where they just validate and listen and support and help was amazing. And like I said, I was very fortunate that the first lady I spoke with, was perfect for me. But you really have to find somebody that's good for you, and it might take a couple visits. But it was, that was honestly, that intake was the best thing I ever did. I have the date tattooed on my body because it was so impactful, and basically changed the course of my life. And then I started establishing routines to kind of make me be more proactive in my day-to-day and get me back to, engaging in life. And I mean, it did start out like, take a shower, wash your hair, do your laundry. It did really start out as doing those daily tasks that your daily chores that everybody does regardless. But when you're depressed and anxious, you don't do those, and it just builds up. So just start, and then going for a walk. I started reading, just not just recreationally, but also to kind of like better myself, and not just, with mental health related stuff, just anything like anything that was professional development related or any sort of growth. I mean, not only does it give you more tools to use, but it, helps you focus on a different aspect. You're not just perseverating on yourself. And, daily, getting active, 30 minutes on the treadmill, or 30 minutes weight training, or 30 minutes walking. And then as those tasks became routine and being part of my life, I was able to start incorporating other things or making them, longer, like, an hour of working out instead of just 30 minutes, or multiple things. And then it grew from there, and it started doing tasks to kind of better myself across the board, not just physically, but also in my professional life or with my family, or, across the board. Honestly, just doing the work. Like, you really have to, you can't just decide that you want to do this. You have to follow through and do the work and do it consistently. There's been so many times in the past several years where something's happened, and because I'm already kind of susceptible to trauma and depression and anxiety, it hits me harder than it would had this situation never happened. So I have to start over in a lot of ways. You have to sweep the floor every day.
Yeah.
You can't just sweep it once and expect it to stay clean. So you have to continue to do the work. And that's, just having those routines and those tasks. And sometimes I do get back to like this, task for the day. Take a shower, get dressed, brush your hair, go grocery shopping. Sometimes it does get back to that. But for the most part, because I have these tools and I've established a routine, I get back to, 45 minutes of weight training, 30-minute walk, read 10 pages, check in with family, and research. And, it builds upon itself, but you have to keep doing the work.
Yes. Yes. Thank you for sharing those, Amanda. You are absolutely correct. You have to keep doing the work. And a lot of times I find, again, and even within myself, when number one, we feel sometimes that it's so wrong to feel the emotions.
Mm-hmm.
And so we try to repress. But then we all know that repressing will not help. It will just get things worse. And
Mm-hmm.
so the next thing is we really have to do the work. The work has to be done. It will not be a magic wand where you just wave it and all the bad things or
Yeah.
the unfortunate situations just disappear. The work will have to be done. And so I agree with you, Amanda. Thank you for sharing that.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. So, if people wanted to get in touch with you, how would they connect with you?
I am probably most active on Instagram. My
Yeah.
Instagram handle is Kines Manda, KINESMANDA. That's also my email, kinesemanda@gmail. You can email me there. But yeah, I'm most active on Instagram, and I'm pretty candid about my journey there and how it continues to impact my weight loss and my fitness goals, and then how I work through it, and I give different types of tips on being healthy in terms of nutrition or types of workouts, but a lot of the mental health aspect there too.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much. And do you have any final words, Amanda? Do you have any final words you want to share with everyone before we
Uh,
wrap up?
right. You're going to hit roadblocks. You might be in one right now, but we can pull through it. We get knocked down, we get knocked in the face, but we get back up, and that's part of living. And honestly, it's addressing the situation shows so much more strength than just ignoring it. It takes more strength to better yourself than to just keep going as you are. So, I mean, you might feel stuck, but just keep plugging through and you'll get through there. And, if you want, reach out to me. I don't know if I can specifically help, but I might be able to give you some options. But I'm definitely always willing to help.
Awesome. Thank you for that. Loving it. And so, guys, this is Amanda's story. As you know, that there are stories out there that are representing the path of success whenever there is a traumatic experience. So make a decision to step out of that traumatic experience. It is never okay to be willing to, just leave your life at the wayside because of, and we know that the situations are hard, but make the decision. It is possible. There is hope, and it starts with a decision. Right, Amanda?
Yes,
Right.
you make that choice and you follow
Make
through.
that choice and follow
There's a
through.
lot
Do
of
the
little
work.
steps in between, but that's A and B.
A and B. Awesome. And so, guys, as you know, I help individuals to overcome trauma, and which is called PTS, which is post-traumatic stress, and to improve quality of life. So if you want your success story, if you want to know how to overcome and heal for good, because I am not here to help anyone cope. I'm all for healing, all for recovery. So if you want your own success story, please connect with me and let us talk. Okay? So make that connection. Let's talk, because again, we're not here to help anyone cope. We are here for full healing and full recovery, because it's possible. It is possible.
Coping will only take you so far.
Exactly.
It's a great starter step, but you have to really embrace it to fully heal. And if you just want to do half the work, you're gonna stay miserable.
Yes, I agree. And so we thank you again, Amanda, for sharing. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for sharing with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
You are welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. We're going to just leave it open for about 2 minutes of questions. If anyone has any questions, then we are going to take those questions. If not, then we will wrap this up and wish everyone a wonderful, wonderful weekend. So 2 minutes for questions, and then we'll wrap up.
And as a teacher, I feel obligated to say there is no such thing as a stupid question.
Oh, no. I agree with you. There's no such thing as a stupid question. All right, I'm seeing a few comments. I'm not seeing any questions. I see hello, hi, blessings everyone. Awesome interview. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes. All right, 1 more minute. All right, guys, there are no questions, so we're going to wrap this up. Again, thank you, Amanda, and everyone. Have a wonderful, safe, and productive weekend as much as you can. We'll talk again soon. Bye-bye, everybody.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Have a good one.